Zoe here, and today we are back with another speed paint. You'll be glad to know that it's a new year, which means it's a new you, it's a new me. I have no idea what I meant by that, but happy 2025. I know this is coming out at the end of the month instead of at the beginning, but who cares? Celebrate the New Year's whenever you want. We don't have to care about celebrating on a specific day if we don't want to. Anyways, all this rambling was to say that I'm making a little 4-panel comic while talking about a life experience that's relevant to it. It's about that time I jumped out of an airplane. Yes, in real life. So let's get started. I suppose I should start at the beginning because that's where you should normally start when telling a story. It was back in 2023, a couple of months after my 1-year anniversary at my job. After being employed there for a year, I finally got my vacation time, and I wanted to do something with it. This is the first time I've ever had a vacation time available, so I was quite excited by it, to be honest. Truth be told, I spent most of the time at home because I was trying to save up for getting my own place, or I went to the closest big city, Seattle. As I was trying to think of something fun to do, I remembered an indoor skydiving place that I drove by every day before work, so I tried to schedule a time I could go. Unfortunately, I ran into a few problems. Well, one problem, really. No, it wasn't the price. No, there were plenty of time slots available during my vacation. The problem was they wouldn't accept my debit card, or my credit card. Which was odd, because it would work everywhere else I went. I even went out of my way to buy energy drinks to make sure that my card was actually functioning, which it was. After attempting to schedule something over a few days, and them refusing to take my money, I gave up on that place. Screw it, I thought. I'll just jump out of a real plane instead. So I googled skydiving places near me and scheduled a tandem jump. For those of you who are unaware, a tandem jump is when the person with the parachute straps a person to their front and jumps out of the plane with them. Kinda like a parent with a baby carrier on their torso. Except it's two adults, and far more dangerous. I made my way to the skydiving place and was quite excited. I was going to do something fun and unique. I entered the hangar that the business operated out of. They had me sign the "I'm not going to sue if I get hurt, nor will my family if the parachute fails" paperwork, and waited for my flight. It took quite a while, and as I was sitting there, I started to get quite nervous. I talked with some of the people there for a bit, and they told me I wouldn't need the light jacket that I brought because it wouldn't be cold up there. It was in the middle of August after all. The instructor came after I found a place to set it down. They showed me how to attach my harness and double check it to make sure it was done correctly. Then we made our way to the plane. There were 2 rows of benches in the middle of the cabin, and the instructor and I sat at the back. We would be the last people out of the plane. The benches orientated in a way we could straddle them, so they didn't have a back. I was strapped to the instructor and the plane took off. I looked out the window to stare at the landscape in an attempt to calm me down. This usually works on car rides when I'm nervous and a passenger, not the driver. Unfortunately, this time it only reminded me of how high up we were getting. These heights don't normally bother me, but for some reason it did this time. Can you guess why? Anyways, in order to calm myself down, I repeated my instructions so I didn't screw up the process. Slide forward along the bench. When it's our turn, we are going to lean forward, then back 3 times. On 3, we fall out. Do not jump. Fall. After 60 seconds of free fall, the instructor will pull the parachute. Soon enough, it was our turn. I leaned forward, 1, then back, then forward, 2, then back, then forward, 3, and I kept leaning forward. Every part of me was screaming not to, but we already had the momentum. Time seemed to slow as I fell out and my body was extremely tense. All I could do was pull my head back as if that would have helped. Panic took me as we plunged. The ground was so far away. All I could hear was the rushing of wind. After a few moments, nothing changed. It stopped feeling like I was falling and more like I was lying down on a large floor fan. I grinned like a crazy lady, taking in the landscape from the forests to the mountains and the fields we were aiming for. My fear had completely left me. We grabbed hands with the other instructor that went up with us, and we started to spin in the air. Then we tossed each other away as we spun away from each other. I thoroughly enjoyed the plunge. After a bit, we pointed our feet to the ground and we fell faster. Then the parachute pulled and I could suddenly hear again. As we drifted down, the instructor taught me how to steer the parachute and let me navigate our way to the landing zone. Then it was over. I had so much fun. Definitely a great use of a vacation day. The moment I wanted to try and capture with this comic was the panic as I fell and then the realization that I'm fine actually. Honestly, my thoughts were, I guess I'll just fall now? In the second panel, I had myself screaming like an anime girl, but to be honest, I couldn't have screamed even if I wanted to, and I did want to. If I opened my mouth, I wouldn't be able to force enough air out to like scream or talk. So, you know, thanks wind. I thought the best way to depict myself in this was as like a small gremlin, because I really was just strapped to some guy like a little baby. Then I gave myself noodle arms and added in some action lines, and then gave the last 3 panels some motion blur for added effect. To be honest, part of the reason I'm making this now is to remind myself to go out and do things. Live life, have fun. I've been really anxious and depressed lately because of some major political events happening in the US. Cough cough, the new administration. I know this affects a lot of people and not just trans folks like myself, but I still need to remind myself to go out and have fun. Don't just sleep, work, sleep, work, sleep, work. Make time for friends, family, and have fun. On a brighter note, let's talk about something more fun. New Year's resolutions. I do have several, actually. First, I wanted to start journaling again. Back in 2023, when I started my transition, I started a journal as a way to kind of help my mental health and to kind of keep track of things as I was going through my transition. Basically, writing about things that are running around my head instead of letting them live there. I slowly stopped because my, at the time, undiagnosed ADHD couldn't really keep up with that hyperfixation. So hopefully medicated me will remember to write in it. Also, I flipped through the first few pages and realized my transiversary was on January 5th. So happy 2 years of HTR to me. Or HRT, not HTR. Next on the list is to get laser hair removal on my face. Then come out at work, because I still haven't done that yet, and get my legal name changed. It's gonna be a nervous time for that second step, but I know I won't regret it. Kinda just like jumping out of a plane. You just sort of will do it, and everything will be fine. Lastly, I want to get out and do things more. Like, if I want to see a movie in theaters, then just go. No need to attempt to organize a group to go. If I want to go to Seattle and be a tourist for a day, then just go do it. You deserve it, girl. Also, I want to go to Vancouver, Canada, but that sounds more like a summer thing where I can take like a week or like a weekend, some kind of trip that's more of a longer duration. Ooh, though I could go snowboarding if I go in the winter, because I'm pretty sure they have really good snowboarding up there. I will need to get new snowboarding gear though. It has been a few years since I've gone, and not all of my stuff fits me. Anyways, that's it for this video. So thank you for joining me for story time, New Year's resolution, and slight vent. If you liked this video, go ahead and subscribe for more. If you want to, you can follow me on Blue Sky to see what I occasionally skeet. Also, I have a Ko-fi now, so if you want to support me, you can do it there. See you in the next video I make. Bye!